Between October 1749 and March 1750, thousands of colonial families endured winters so brutal that ink froze mid-sentence, cattle died standing in fields, and survival meant choosing between freezing or starving. The cold was relentless and unforgiving, but for these determined settlers, life somehow continued in rooms with gaps in the walls and no shutters. Here's what life was really like surviving a colonial winter. Before we start, if you use these to fall asleep, hit subscribe so you don't miss any. Comment where you're at and the time too. Kind of fun seeing all the different places. Someone from Iceland commented once and I had to Google what time zone that even is. Okay, tonight it's 1749 Pennsylvania. But wait, are you comfortable? No, really. Check. Pillows, blankets, the whole deal. Where we're going, you'll want to be settled. Your eyes snap open in pure darkness. Not the cozy darkness of your bedroom right now, with your warm blanket and soft mattress. This is different. This is the kind of dark that comes when you're sleeping on a straw mattress in a log cabin with gaps between the planks wide enough to see moonlight through. The first thing that hits you is the cold. Not chilly, not uncomfortable, cold like someone dumped a bucket of ice water over your entire body while you slept. Your breath comes out in thick white clouds. You can literally see each exhale hanging in the air in front of your face. You're 13 years old. Your name is William, and you've just woken up on January 21st, 1750, in Raccoon, New Jersey. The straw mattress beneath you is frozen stiff in places where your body heat didn't reach. You can feel every piece of straw poking through the rough linen sheet. Your wool blanket is thin, like stupidly thin. Back home in England, this would have been what you gave to a dog. But here, this is what you've got. Your older sister Martha is already awake. You can hear her teeth chattering from the other straw mattress across the room. She's 14 and she's trying not to cry. You know because you can hear these little hiccup sounds she makes when she's fighting it. "William," she whispers. Her voice is shaking. "I can't feel my toes." "Wiggle them," you whisper back. "I am wiggling them." "Well, that's not great." The walls of your cabin are rough-hewn logs. Your father built this place with his own hands when you arrived from England 2 years ago. He did his best, but there are gaps, actual gaps between the logs where the chinking has fallen out. You can see slivers of pre-dawn light coming through in about 15 different places. Back in England, even the poorest cottages had proper walls, thick stone, plaster, something. Here, you're basically sleeping in a fancy pile of sticks. And there are no shutters on the windows. Zero. None. Your father keeps saying he'll make some. Been saying it for 8 months now. Meanwhile, the wind just blows straight through the oiled paper that covers the window holes. It makes this whistling sound at night. Like ghosts. Or like the land itself is trying to tell you to go back to England. You pull the blanket up to your chin. It doesn't help. The cold is everywhere. It's in the air you breathe. It's in the wooden floor beneath you. It's seeping through every gap in the walls like water through a sieve. Your stomach growls. When did you last eat? Yesterday at midday? You had some cornmeal mush. That was it. One meal. Your mother keeps saying the food supplies need to last until spring. Spring is still 2 months away. 2 months. 60 days of this. You do the math in your head and immediately wish you hadn't. From somewhere across the single room that makes up your entire house, you hear your father cough. It's a wet, rattling cough. He's been sick for 3 days now. Your mother keeps putting warm compresses on his chest, but they go cold almost instantly in this house. The room you're in right now, it's everything. Kitchen, bedroom, living space, storage. All of it. One room, maybe 20 feet by 15 feet. There's a stone fireplace on the far wall, but it went out sometime in the night, because of course it did. Your father was supposed to bank it properly before bed, pack it with ash to keep the coals alive till morning, but he was coughing so hard he could barely stand, so the fire died, and now the inside of your house is basically the same temperature as outside, which, if Peter Kalm's thermometer is right, is about 7 3/4 degrees below freezing Fahrenheit. You don't know what Fahrenheit means exactly, but you know it's bad when water turns to solid ice inside the bucket by your bed. Speaking of which, you glance at the wooden bucket near the door. There's a skin of ice on top of the water that's at least 1/4 inch thick. You watched your mother fill that bucket just before bed last night. Fresh water from the well. Now it's frozen solid enough that you could probably stand on it. Not that you're going to try. You're cold, not stupid. Your younger brother Samuel is still asleep somehow. He's 8, small for his age. He's curled up in a ball under his section of the blanket you all share, and you can see his whole body shivering, even in sleep. You need to get up. You need to start the fire. You're the oldest boy, which means this is your job now that your father is sick. But the thought of leaving this mattress, as uncomfortable and frozen as it is, makes you want to cry just like Martha. Outside, you can hear wind. It's not howling exactly, more like this steady, constant push against the cabin walls, like the winter itself is leaning against your house, testing it, seeing if it'll hold. Through one of the bigger gaps in the wall, you can see the sky starting to lighten. Dawn's coming, which means you're already behind. Your mother taught you the routine. Fire first, always fire first. Without fire, you're dead. Simple as that. But to start the fire, you need to get out of bed, and to get out of bed means exposing yourself to air so cold it feels like it has teeth. You take a breath, the air burns going down your throat. Back in your warm bed right now, in your heated house, you probably can't even imagine this. You've got central heating, insulation, double-paned windows. You're in your soft pajamas under your thick comforter, and if you get cold, you just turn up the thermostat. William doesn't have a thermostat. William has a pile of kindling and a prayer. You swing your legs over the side of the straw mattress. The movement makes the whole thing crackle and shift. Your feet hit the wooden floor and you actually gasp out loud. It's like stepping on ice, because it basically is ice. There's frost on the floorboards, actual frost, inside your house. You're wearing the same clothes you wore yesterday, the same clothes you've worn for the past week actually. A rough linen shirt, wool breeches that are more holes than wool at this point, and stockings that your mother has darned so many times they're basically just a collection of patches held together by hope. You stand up. Every muscle in your body is screaming at you to get back under that blanket. Your legs are shaking, not from fear, from actual physical cold. Your body is burning every bit of energy it has just to keep you from freezing solid. The fireplace is about 10 feet away, might as well be 10 miles. You shuffle toward it, and each step makes this weird crunching sound because there's frost on the floor inside your house worth repeating. Next to the fireplace, there's a small wooden box where you keep the char cloth. That's your fire starting kit. You need char cloth, flint, steel, and kindling, in that order. Screw up any part of that sequence, and you're looking at another hour of cold while you try again. Your hands are shaking as you kneel in front of the cold fireplace. There's ash from last night's fire, but no coals, nothing alive. You're starting from scratch. You pull out a piece of char cloth. It's about the size of your palm, black, crumbly. Your father made it last month by burning linen in a closed pot. You don't really understand the science, but you know it catches sparks like nothing else. You grab the flint and steel. Now comes the fun part. You strike the steel against the flint. Nothing. Strike again. Nothing. Your hands are so cold you can barely hold the steel. Strike, strike, strike. On the 6th try, you get a spark. It lands on the char cloth and immediately starts glowing. This tiny orange ember in the darkness. You cup your hands around it like it's the most precious thing in the world, because right now it is. You bring it to your pile of kindling. Dried grass, small twigs. You blow on it gently. Too hard and you'll blow it out. Too soft and it won't catch. The grass starts to smoke, then a small flame, then another. The kindling catches. You add slightly bigger sticks, then bigger ones. You're building this fire like you're building a tiny wooden house. Careful, methodical. One mistake and the whole thing collapses. 5 minutes later, you have an actual fire going. The warmth hits your face and you almost cry from relief. It's not much. Not yet, but it's something. It's the difference between freezing to death and just being miserably cold. Good job, William, your mother's voice from behind you. She's awake, probably has been the whole time. She doesn't sleep much these days. She's 34 years old and looks 50. The colonies do that to people. Age them like milk left in the sun. Her hands are red and cracked from cold. Her face is thin, too thin. Nobody's eating enough. How's father? You ask. Sleeping, she says, which is code for still sick, but what can we do about it? Colonial medicine is basically hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Got a cough? Hope it goes away. Cut your hand? Hope it doesn't get infected. Break a bone? Hope it heals straight. That's the system. There's a doctor in Philadelphia, about 30 miles away. Might as well be 300. You can't travel in this weather. The roads are sheets of ice. Your horse, Bess, is old and tired. She'd probably die trying to make that trip. So your father either gets better on his own or he doesn't. Your mother moves to the fireplace and starts adding bigger logs. She knows how to build a fire that'll last. She's been doing this her whole life. First in England, now here. We need water, she says. You know what that means. The well is outside, and outside is where the cold lives. You look at the door. It's just a rough wooden door with leather hinges. There are gaps around the edges big enough to stick your finger through. You can see daylight coming through in thin lines. I'll get it, you say, because what else are you going to say? Your mother hands you the wooden bucket, the one that had frozen water in it. She's already dumped the ice outside. The bucket is empty, cold. When you grab the handle, it burns your hand with cold. You walk to the door. Put your hand on the rough wood, take a breath, and step outside into a winter that's trying to kill you. The cold hits you like a physical wall, like walking face first into a frozen river. Your eyes immediately start watering. The tears freeze on your cheeks before they can fall. The sky is this pale, washed-out blue. Not the pretty blue of a spring morning, the cold blue of a sky that's forgotten what warmth means. The sun is just starting to peek over the trees in the distance, and it looks weak, tired, like it's given up trying to warm this frozen land. Snow covers everything, about 6 inches deep, like Peter Kalm measured. It's the 3rd snow this month. Each one comes, sticks around for a few days, then melts. Then another comes, then another. It's like the winter can't make up its mind whether to stay or go, so it just keeps coming back. Your breath makes huge white clouds in front of your face. You've never seen your breath this thick. It's like you're breathing out smoke. The well is about 50 feet from your cabin, 50 feet through snow that comes up to your shins. You're not wearing shoes, can't afford to get them wet, so you're walking barefoot through snow that's well below freezing. Your feet go numb almost instantly. That's probably for the best. Each step makes this crunching sound. The snow has a crust of ice on top from melting and refreezing. It cuts into your feet with each step. You can see your cabin from here. It looks small, rough. The logs are grey. There's smoke starting to come from the stone chimney now that your mother's built up the fire. It's the only sign of life. Around you, the forest is dead silent. No birds, no animals, nothing. Everything with any sense has either gone south or is hibernating. The trees are bare, just black branches against white snow against pale blue sky. It's beautiful in a way that wants you dead. The well is just a hole in the ground lined with stones. Your father and the other men from the settlement built it last summer, dug down about 20 feet until they hit water. Now there's a wooden cover on top to keep snow out and a rope with a bucket attached. You lift the cover. The rope is frozen stiff, like a thick wooden stick. You have to bend it manually to get it to move. Your hands are already going numb. You lower the bucket down into the darkness. You can hear it hit water or ice. You're not actually sure which. You pull it back up. The bucket comes up half full of water with chunks of ice floating in it. Some of the ice is thick, like solid thick. You have to break it up with your fingers before you can pour the water into your bucket. Your fingers are white, not pink. White. That's bad. You know that's bad. But you've got water now, so you head back to the cabin. 50 feet through the snow, your feet have gone completely numb. You can't feel them at all. You're just watching them move and trusting they're still attached to your legs. You stumble through the door and kick it shut behind you. The fire's going strong now. Your mother's added enough wood that actual heat is starting to fill the room. You set the bucket down near the fireplace. Your hands are shaking so hard you almost drop it. Get your feet by the fire, your mother says, not asks, orders. You sit on the floor and stick your feet toward the flames. The feeling comes back in stages. First, nothing, then pins and needles, then actual pain. Your feet hurt so bad you have to bite your lip to keep from yelling. This is just morning, just getting water. This is every single day. Martha is up now, standing by the fire. Samuel is still asleep somehow. Your father is awake but lying down, watching all of this from his mattress across the room. His face is grey. The cattle, he croaks. Right, the cattle, because of course there are cattle. Your family has 2 cows, Betty and May. They're brown, thin. Their ribs show through their sides. You can see every bone in their bodies, and they live outside all winter in this cold with no shelter. Because your family, being English, didn't build a barn. The English and Swedish settlers don't build barns, apparently. Just the Dutch and Germans. Peter Kalm wrote about this. He seemed confused by it. You're confused by it too. But your father says barns cost money and time and wood they don't have. So Betty and May just stand in the field behind your cabin. All day, all night, in weather cold enough to freeze water solid. You need to feed them. I'll do it, you say. Your mother looks at you. She knows what this means, going back outside, carrying hay through the snow. Your feet have just barely started to feel normal again. Take your brother, she says. Samuel wakes up when you shake him. His eyes are puffy from sleep. He's shivering. Come on, you tell him. Cattle. He groans but gets up. He's wearing clothes just as rough and worn as yours. His feet are bare too. You grab 2 bundles of hay from the small pile in the corner of the cabin. It's dried grass you cut last summer. You've got maybe 3 weeks worth left. After that, you have no idea what you're going to feed Betty and May. Problem for future, William. You and Samuel head back outside. The cold is just as bad the second time. Worse, maybe, because you know what's coming. The field where the cattle stay is behind the cabin. About 100 feet through the snow, you can see Betty and May from here. 2 dark shapes against the white. They're pressed together, trying to share body heat. Steam rises from their bodies in thick clouds. Ice has formed around their nostrils, around their eyes. They look like they're crying frozen tears. They're not moving much, just standing there, enduring. You and Samuel trudge through the snow. Your feet are going numb again. You're basically walking on stumps. When you get to the cattle, they barely react. They're too cold to care, too tired. You drop the hay in front of them. Betty starts eating immediately. May just stands there, staring at nothing. "Is she okay?" Samuel asks. "She's fine," you lie. May doesn't look fine. She looks like she's given up, like she's just waiting to freeze to death standing up. You've heard it happens. Cattle just die in their sleep during cold winters, standing in fields, frozen solid. You find them in the morning like furry statues. You're really hoping May makes it. "Come on," you tell Samuel. "Let's go back." The walk back to the cabin feels longer. Your whole body is shaking. Samuel is crying now, not making noise, just tears running down his face, freezing on his cheeks. You get back inside. The fire is roaring now. Your mother has hung a pot over it. She's making some kind of porridge. Cornmeal and water, that's breakfast. Your father is sitting up now, still coughing, but trying to look strong. He's doing a bad job of it. "How are the cows?" he asks. "Fine," you say. Another lie. But what are you going to say? May's dying? We can't afford to lose a cow? Everyone in this room already knows that. You sit by the fire again. Your feet hurt, your hands hurt, your face hurts, everything hurts. And it's not even full daylight yet. This is colonial winter. This is survival. This is waking up every morning and choosing to keep going, even though every part of you wants to crawl under that thin blanket and never come back out. Because the alternative is dying, and you're not ready to do that yet. Outside, the wind picks up. It hits the side of the cabin and makes the whole structure groan. Snow starts falling again, small flakes drifting past the window gaps. Your mother stirs the pot over the fire. Martha sits next to you, still not talking. Samuel curls up on his mattress, pulling the blanket over his head. Your father coughs again, that wet, rattling cough that means something is wrong inside his chest. The fire crackles, the wind blows. And somewhere in the forest, something howls. Maybe a wolf, maybe just the winter itself, laughing at all of you. You stare into the fire and try to remember what warmth feels like. Real warmth. Not this desperate, clawing, temporary warmth from a fire that'll die if you don't feed it constantly. But the kind of warmth you're feeling right now, in your bed, with your heating and your blankets and your full refrigerator downstairs. The kind of warmth William can't even imagine. The kind of warmth that means you're going to survive the night, every single night, without even thinking about it. The porridge is ready when the sun finally clears the trees. Your mother ladles it into wooden bowls, 4 bowls, 1 for each of you kids. She doesn't take any for herself, neither does your father. "Not hungry," she says when you look at her. That's code for "we're stretching the food." You know this game. Your parents eat every other day now, sometimes every 3rd day. They're trying to make sure you kids get enough, which would be sweet if the portions weren't already pathetically small. You look down at your bowl. The porridge is thin, watery. You can see the bottom of the bowl through it. There's maybe half a cup of actual cornmeal in here. The rest is just hot water, but it's hot. That counts for something. You wrap your hands around the bowl and just hold it for a minute. The warmth seeps into your fingers, your cracked, frozen fingers that look like they belong to someone 3 times your age. Samuel starts crying again when he sees his portion. "That's it?" he says. "That's it," your mother says. Not mean, just factual. "I'm starving." We all are. Martha eats hers in about 4 bites. You try to make yours last. Take small sips. Let each spoonful sit in your mouth before swallowing. Trick your stomach into thinking it's getting more than it actually is. Doesn't work. You're still hungry when the bowl is empty. You're always hungry. Hunger isn't like it is when you skip lunch or whatever. It's not this annoying little thing in your stomach that you can ignore. It's constant, this hollow, gnawing ache that never goes away. You go to sleep hungry, you wake up hungry, you do chores hungry, you exist hungry, and there's nothing you can do about it. Your father manages to eat about half his portion before he starts coughing again. He doubles over, holding his chest. The cough sounds wet, deep, like something's rattling around in his lungs that shouldn't be there. Your mother takes his bowl and finishes it herself. Waste not. Want not. William, your father says between coughs. Wood. Right. The wood pile is getting low. You need to split more logs before the next snowfall, because there's always a next snowfall. You look outside through the gap in the wall. The wind has died down a bit. Snow is still falling, but lighter now. Just small flakes drifting lazy through the air. This is as good as it's going to get. I'll go, you say. Your mother hands you your father's old coat. It's too big for you. The sleeves hang past your hands, but it's made of thick wool, and thick wool is the difference between losing fingers to frostbite and keeping them. Probably. You also get the mittens, rough leather things your mother made from scraps. They're not warm, but they're something. And you get shoes this time. Actual shoes, leather, worn through in places, but better than bare feet. Small victories. You grab the axe from beside the door. It's not a big axe. More like a hatchet, really, but it's sharp. Your father keeps it sharp. He says a dull blade is more dangerous than no blade at all. You step outside for the third time this morning. The cold is still brutal, but you're getting used to it, which is either a good thing or a deeply concerning thing about how humans can adapt to literally anything. The woodpile is on the side of the cabin, just a bunch of logs your father cut last fall, stacked under a lean-to roof he made from spare planks. The wood is frozen solid. When you pick up a log to split, it burns your hands with cold even through the mittens. You set the log upright on the chopping stump, raise the axe, bring it down hard. The log splits clean in two. Good. You set up another log, split it, then another, then another. Chopping wood in winter is weird. Your body starts to heat up from the work, but your face and fingers stay frozen. So you're sweating and shivering at the same time. Your breath comes out in huge clouds. Your arms start to ache, but you keep going. You split maybe 20 logs before you hear it. A voice. Oh, hello? You turn around. There's a man walking toward your cabin through the snow. He's maybe 40 years old with a thick beard and a wool cap. He's wearing an actual proper coat, not a worn-out hand-me-down like yours. A real coat. You recognize him. Heinrich Möller, your German neighbour. He lives about half a mile east with his wife and 6 kids. They've been here longer than you, know what they're doing. "Oh, morning, boy," Heinrich says in his thick accent. He learned English from Dutch traders, and it shows. "Morning, sir," you say. "Your father, he is well?" "Sick," you admit. Heinrich nods like this is expected. Everyone's sick. It's winter. Being sick is just part of the deal. "Come," he says. "I show you something." You follow him around to the back of your cabin where Betty and May are still standing in the field. They haven't moved since you fed them earlier. May still has that dead look in her eyes. Heinrich shakes his head when he sees them. "This is no good," he says. "I know." "You must bring them inside." You almost laugh. "Inside where? We barely have room for us." Then you build shelter, small shelter, better than nothing. He's not wrong. The Muller family has an actual barn. You've seen it. Wooden walls, a roof, hay on the ground. Their cattle sleep in there warm and dry. Well, warmer and drier than Betty and May anyway. "We don't have the wood," you say. "I give you wood." You blink. "What?" "I give you wood. You build small lean-to. 3 walls, roof, face away from wind. Your cows, they live maybe." This is wild. People don't just give away resources in winter. Wood is survival. Wood is life. And Heinrich is offering to just hand it over. Why, you ask? He shrugs. Is Christian thing to do. Also, if your cows die, you have no milk. No milk, you get sick. You get sick. Maybe you die. You die. Your land goes empty. Empty land brings wolves closer to my land. So really, I help myself. Okay, that makes more sense. Brutal sense, but sense. Thank you, you say. Come tomorrow, he says. Bring your brother. We cut planks. He trudges back through the snow toward his farm. You watch him go, a little stunned. Tomorrow you're going to build a shelter for the cows. Tomorrow you might actually save May's life. You go back to splitting wood with slightly more energy. The axe feels lighter. Your arms don't hurt as much. Funny how a little bit of hope can do that. You split another dozen logs before your arms give out. Then you gather everything up and haul it back to the woodpile. Stack it neat. Your father taught you that. Messy woodpiles fall over. Fallen wood gets wet. Wet wood doesn't burn. Details matter when you're trying not to freeze to death. You head back inside. The cabin is actually warm now. Well, warm is generous. It's not painful anymore. That's an upgrade. Your father is asleep on his mattress. Your mother is sitting by the fire, mending one of Samuel's shirts. The needle moves slow. Her fingers are stiff from cold. Martha is sweeping the floor with a broom made of tied twigs. There's not much to sweep. Dirt floor doesn't collect much, except more dirt. William, your mother says without looking up, check the root cellar. The root cellar is just a hole in the ground under a trapdoor in the corner. Your father dug it last summer, about 6 feet deep. It stays cool year-round. In winter, it keeps vegetables from freezing solid. You lift the trapdoor. Cold air rushes up from below. Different cold than the regular air. Earthy cold. Damp cold. You climb down the wooden ladder. It's dark down here. You've got a small candle, but you're trying to save it, so you feel around in the darkness. Your hands find potatoes, a barrel of them. You grab a few. They're small, wrinkled, starting to sprout, but they're food. There are also turnips hanging from the ceiling in bunches. You grab 2, and onions. Small ones. You take 3. That's dinner sorted. You climb back up and close the trapdoor. Show your mother what you found. She nods. Good. We'll make a stew. With what meat, you ask? Without meat. So, vegetable water soup, again. But honestly, you'll take it. Vegetable water soup is better than no soup, and no soup is what you'll have in about 3 weeks when the root cellar runs empty. You're trying not to think about that. Samuel is sitting by the fire now holding a small corn husk doll. He's 8, but he still plays with it sometimes. Your mother made it for him last year. It's falling apart. The corn husk is splitting. The thread is coming loose. But it's his. He makes it walk across the floor, makes little sound effects, pretending it's going on an adventure. The adventure is probably warmer than this cabin. William, Martha says. She stopped sweeping, looking at you with this expression you can't quite read. What, do you think we'll make it? And make it where? Spring. You don't know how to answer that, so you just shrug. Father seems worse, she says quietly. He'll be fine. You keep saying that, because it's true. You don't know that. She's right. You don't. Nobody knows anything in winter. You just wake up each day and hope everyone's still breathing. Your mother stops mending. Martha, William, enough. But Martha starts. Enough. Martha goes back to sweeping. You go sit by the fire. The conversation is over, but the question hangs in the air like smoke. Will we make it? You stare at the flames. They flicker and dance. The wood pops, sends little sparks up the chimney. Outside, the wind picks up again. You can hear it whistling through the gaps in the walls. That ghost sound, that winter sound. Your stomach growls. Still hungry, always hungry. You look at the bucket of water by the door. The ice has melted from the heat of the fire. But it'll freeze again tonight when the fire dies down. Everything freezes at night. Everything. You've learned to sleep with your clothes on. All of them. Every layer you own. And you still wake up shivering. There are stories of people freezing to death in their sleep, just not waking up. Happened to a family 3 miles south last winter. Father, mother, 2 kids, found them in March when the snow melted, all 4 of them in their beds, frozen. You're trying not to think about that either. But it's hard when you can see your breath inside your own house. William, your mother says, take Samuel, go check on May again. You groan internally, but stand up. Samuel looks at you like you just told him he has to walk to Philadelphia. Do we have to? He whines. Yes. You both bundle up again. Coats, shoes, mittens, the whole routine. Step outside. The cold slaps you in the face. You're getting really tired of this cold. You and Samuel trudge through the snow to the field. The sun is higher now, but it's not doing much. Still pale. Still weak. Betty and May are exactly where you left them. Betty is chewing on some of the hay. May is just standing there. You walk up to May, put your hand on her side. Her coat is frozen, actual ice crystals in her fur. You can feel her ribs, every single one. May, you say, come on girl, eat something. She doesn't move. Samuel tugs on your coat. Is she dead? No, look, she's breathing. You can see her breath, small white puffs, slower than they should be. She looks dead. She's not dead, Samuel. She looks really dead, though. You want to argue, but he's kind of right. May looks half dead, maybe 3/4 dead. Tomorrow you'll build her a shelter. Tomorrow she'll have 3 walls and a roof. Tomorrow she'll be warmer if she makes it to tomorrow. Let's go back, you say. The walk back feels longer every time. Your feet hurt, your face hurts, your hands hurt, everything hurts. Inside, your father is awake again, sitting up. He looks terrible. His face is grey, sweaty, but he's trying to smile. How's May? He asks. Fine. You lie for the 3rd time today. He knows you're lying. You know he knows. But what's he going to do? Go outside and check himself? He can barely stand. Your mother is cutting up the potatoes. She's making them last. Each potato gets cut into about 20 pieces. Thin slices. Barely anything. She drops them into the pot of water hanging over the fire, adds the turnips, the onions, that's dinner, water with vegetables floating in it, and you'll be grateful for it because some people don't even have that. You sit by the fire and watch the pot. The water starts to bubble. Steam rises. The vegetables start to soften. Your stomach growls again. 3 more hours until dinner. 3 more hours of being hungry. 3 more hours of being cold. 3 more hours of winter. Martha sits next to you, doesn't say anything, just sits. Samuel plays with his doll. Your father coughs. Your mother stirs the pot. The fire crackles, the wind blows, and somewhere far away, in a place you can barely remember, spring exists. Warm air, green grass, birds singing, but spring is 60 days away, 60 frozen, hungry, desperate days. You pull your coat tighter and try to remember what warm feels like. Unlike you, in your heated house, with your full stomach and your soft bed, you don't have to remember what warm feels like. You're living it right now. The afternoon brings a new problem. The well is freezing over, not just a skin of ice on top like this morning. The whole thing. The water down in the hole is starting to freeze solid. Your mother discovers this when she sends you out for more water around midday. You lower the bucket down like always, wait for the splash, pull it back up. Except there's no splash, just this dull thunk sound. You pull the bucket up and it's empty. Well, not empty. There's a chunk of ice stuck to the bottom about the size of your fist. You stare down into the well, can't see much, just darkness and the glint of ice about 15 feet down. It's frozen, you call back to the cabin. Your mother appears in the doorway, walks over, looks down the well herself like maybe you're wrong. You're not wrong. "We need that water," she says. "I know." "Go get the axe." So now you're standing in the snow in the middle of the afternoon trying to break through ice at the bottom of a well using an axe tied to a rope. This is your life now. You lower the axe down, let it drop. It hits the ice with a crack that echoes up the stone walls. You pull it back up, lower it again, drop it again, crack. After about 20 drops, you hear a different sound. A splash. You've broken through. You haul up the bucket again. This time it comes up full. Well, half full. The water is so cold it's basically slush, but it's water. Your mother takes it without a word and heads back inside. You stand there for a minute, breathing hard. Your arms hurt from hauling the axe up and down. Your fingers are white again. The cold is seeping through your mittens like they're not even there. The sun is past its peak now, heading toward the western horizon. In a few hours, it'll be dark, and once it's dark, the temperature drops even more. You've got maybe 3 hours of workable daylight left. You should go back inside, sit by the fire, warm up, but your mother's going to need more firewood soon. The pile inside is getting low again. Fire eats wood like a starving animal, constant, relentless. You grab the axe and head toward the tree line. Your father cleared about an acre when you first arrived, cut down all the trees, pulled up the stumps, turned it into farmland for next spring, but past that clearing the forest starts. Thick, dark, full of dead wood you can gather. The walk to the trees takes about 5 minutes. Each step through the snow is work. The crust on top breaks under your feet. You sink in up to your shins. Pull your foot out, sink in again. By the time you reach the forest edge, you're sweating under your coat. Inside the tree line, it's quieter. The wind doesn't hit as hard. The snow isn't as deep because the tree branches caught most of it. You start looking for fallen branches, good dry ones, the kind that snap clean when you break them. You find a decent-sized branch. Dead for at least a year. Perfect. You drag it back toward the clearing. That's when you hear the horse. Not close, maybe a 1/4 mile away, but sound carries weird in winter. Everything's so quiet that even small noises seem loud. You look toward the road. There's a man on a horse, moving slow, really slow. The horse is picking its way carefully over the ice, because the road is basically a river of ice now. Peter Kalm wrote about this, how the roads in winter turn to solid ice, how horses need special shoes to not slip and break their legs. This horse doesn't have special shoes. You can tell because it keeps slipping. Its hooves slide out from under it. The horse recovers, takes another careful step, slides again. The rider is hunched over, looks old or maybe just frozen. You watch him for a minute. He's going so slow, painfully slow. What should take 10 minutes is going to take him an hour at this rate. And if that horse falls, both of them are dead. Simple as that. A horse with a broken leg gets put down. A rider thrown onto ice from that height probably breaks something. Broken bones in winter means you can't work, can't gather food, can't survive. The math is brutal but clear. You keep watching. The horse slips again. This time its back legs go out. It scrambles, catches itself, stands there shaking. The rider slides off. Smart. He's going to walk and lead the horse. Less weight, better chance. They continue down the road, step by careful step. The man's breath makes huge clouds. The horse's breath makes even bigger ones. You wonder where he's going. What's so important that he'd risk the ice roads? Church, maybe. Some people ride to church even in winter. Peter Kalm saw it. People riding through snow a foot deep just to hear a sermon. Seems insane to you. But then again, everything about winter here seems insane. You drag your branch back to the cabin, add it to the woodpile. Your mother is inside stirring the pot. The vegetable stew is starting to smell like something. Not something good exactly, but something. There's a man on the road, you tell her. Horse keeps slipping. She nods, doesn't look up from the pot. People struggling is normal, not worth commenting on. You head back out for more wood. Make 3 more trips before the light starts to fail. On your last trip, you see smoke rising from Heinrich Müller's property. Dark smoke, thick, the kind that comes from a big fire, a good fire, the kind that actually keeps a whole house warm. You think about their barn, their cattle sleeping inside on hay, protected from wind and snow. You think about Betty and May standing in an open field, slowly freezing to death. Tomorrow you'll get the wood from Heinrich. Tomorrow you'll build them a shelter. Tomorrow May might have a chance. If she makes it to tomorrow, you haul the last load of wood back to the cabin, stack it by the door, your arms are screaming, your back hurts, your fingers are so cold they've gone past pain into numbness. You step inside, the warmth hits you like a wall. It's not actually that warm. Maybe 50 degrees, but compared to outside, feels like summer. Martha is sitting by the fire with Samuel. They're both just staring at the flames, not talking, not doing anything, just sitting. Your father is still in bed, still coughing, but he's awake, watching everything with tired eyes. "How's the wood?" he asks. "Good," you say. "Got enough for tonight and tomorrow morning." He nods, closes his eyes. The stew is ready about an hour before sunset. Your mother ladles it into bowls. The portions are slightly bigger than breakfast, maybe a full cup each. The vegetables are soft, mushy. The broth is thin but hot. You eat it in about a minute, still hungry when you're done. Martha looks at her empty bowl like it betrayed her. Samuel licks his bowl clean, literally licks it. Your mother doesn't stop him. Your father manages to eat half of his before the coughing starts again. This time it's bad. He doubles over, can't breathe. His face turns red. Your mother pounds on his back. "Breathe, just breathe." He gasps, chokes, finally gets air. When the coughing stops, there's blood on his hand. Not a lot, just a little, but enough. Your mother sees it. Her face goes blank, that scary kind of blank where you know she's panicking inside but won't show it. "To bed," she tells him. He doesn't argue, just lies back down, pulls the thin blanket up. You and Martha exchange looks. Blood means something's really wrong inside his lungs. Blood means this isn't just a cough anymore. Your mother goes back to stirring the pot. There's nothing left in it. She's just moving the spoon around in empty water, giving herself something to do. "William," she says quietly, "when you go to Heinrich's tomorrow, ask if his wife has any yarrow. Yarrow is an herb, supposed to help with coughs. Your mother used to make tea from it back in England." "Will it help?" you ask. "I don't know. Honest, at least." The sun sets around 5. The temperature immediately drops. You can feel it. The warmth from the fire gets pushed back. The cold creeps in through every gap in the walls. Your mother banks the fire for the night, covers it with ash so the coals stay alive. If you do it right, there'll be enough heat to restart it in the morning without using the flint and steel. If you do it wrong, you wake up to a dead fire and have to start over in a freezing house. High stakes for a pile of ash. Everyone gets ready for bed, which just means climbing onto your straw mattresses fully clothed. You lie down, pull the blanket up. It's already cold. The straw beneath you is frozen stiff. Samuel is shivering next to you. Martha is crying quietly again. Your father is breathing weird, raspy, wet. Your mother sits by the fire for a long time, just sitting, staring. Outside, the wind picks up. It howls around the cabin, finds every gap, every crack, pushes cold air inside like it's searching for you. You close your eyes, try to sleep, can't. Too cold, too hungry, too worried about your father. You lie there in the dark, listening to the wind, and think about the man on the horse. Is he home yet? Did the horse make it? Or are they both lying on the side of the road, frozen? You'll probably never know. People die in winter, and you don't find out until spring when the snow melts and reveals the bodies. That's just how it is. You pull the blanket tighter even though it doesn't help. Somewhere outside you hear a crack, a tree branch breaking from the weight of ice. It sounds like a gunshot in the quiet. Then silence again. Just wind. Just cold. Just winter doing what winter does. Killing anything weak enough to let it. You're not weak. You're going to make it. You have to. Because the alternative is becoming one of those bodies they find in spring, and you're not ready for that. Not yet. You finally drift off sometime around midnight. The sleep is shallow, restless. You dream about fire, about warmth, about food. You dream about spring, and when you wake up, it'll be to the same frozen hell you went to sleep in, but you'll wake up. That's what matters. You'll wake up and do it all again. Haul water, feed cattle, chop wood, eat thin soup, go to bed hungry and cold, again and again and again, until either spring comes or you stop waking up. Those are the options. You close your eyes tighter and try to hold on to the dream of warmth a little longer, while you, right now, in your warm bed with your full stomach and your working heater, drift off to sleep without even thinking about it. Without wondering if you'll wake up. Without questioning whether you'll survive the night. Just sleep, safe, warm, alive, things William can only dream about. Morning comes with your father vomiting into a bucket. Not exactly the wake-up call you were hoping for. The sound drags you out of sleep. That awful, retching noise. You open your eyes and there's barely any light. Pre-dawn. The fire is down to coals. Your mother is holding the bucket. Her face is stone. She's seen this before. Sick people get sicker in winter. That's the pattern. Samuel, you whisper. Don't look. But he's already looking. His eyes are huge. Your father finishes, wipes his mouth, lies back down. His skin looks grey in the dim light. I'm fine, he croaks. Nobody believes him. Your mother empties the bucket outside. You hear the splash of liquid hitting snow. When she comes back in, she looks at you. You're still going to Heinrich's? Yeah. Take Samuel. Keep him busy. Translation. Get him out of this cabin before he sees something worse. You shake Samuel awake. He groans, burrows deeper under the blanket. Come on. We're building a barn. A what? Shelter. For May and Betty. Heinrich's giving us wood. That gets him up. The idea of actually doing something, of not just sitting here watching your father die slowly. You both get dressed. Same clothes as yesterday. Same clothes as the day before. You're pretty sure these breeches could walk to Heinrich's farm by themselves at this point. Your mother gives you each a piece of hard bread. It's stale, rock hard. You have to suck on it to soften it enough to chew. But it's food. Be back before dark, she says. You nod. Grab your coat. Step outside. The world is white and still. Fresh snow fell overnight, maybe 2 inches. It covers yesterday's footprints, makes everything look clean and new. It's a lie, obviously. Underneath it's still frozen and deadly, but for a minute it's almost pretty. The walk to Heinrich's farm takes about 20 minutes. The snow is deeper here because nobody's walked this path yet today. You're breaking trail. Each step takes effort. Samuel falls behind. His legs are shorter. He's struggling. Keep up, you tell him. I'm trying. You slow down a bit. Let him catch up. Grab his hand and pull him along. The Muller farm appears through the trees. It's bigger than yours, way bigger. The main house is 2 stories, actual 2 stories, with a real shingled roof and glass windows. Glass. In the windows. You've almost forgotten what glass looks like. Behind the house is the barn. It's huge, maybe 30 feet long. Wooden walls, a proper door, smoke coming from somewhere inside. Wait, smoke? They heat the barn, Samuel says, seeing it too. No way. Look, there's a chimney. He's right. There's a small stone chimney on one side of the barn. They've got a fire going inside, for the animals. Your cows are standing outside in the snow while Heinrich's cows have their own heated bedroom. The unfairness of it hits you like a punch, but then you remember Heinrich's offering to help, giving you wood. That's more than most people would do. You walk up to the house, knock on the door. It opens immediately. A woman stands there, maybe 35, round face, strong arms. This is Greta Müller, Heinrich's wife. Ah, the English boys, she says in an accent even thicker than her husband's. Come, come, too cold for standing. She pulls you both inside. The warmth is shocking. Actually shocking. Your face starts to tingle as blood flow returns to frozen skin. The house has a massive fireplace, like huge, big enough to roast a whole pig, and there's actually a fire going in it that's putting out real heat. Around the fire, 4 kids are sitting, all younger than you. They stare at you and Samuel like you're exotic animals. Heinrich Greta calls. The boys are here. Heinrich appears from a back room. He's carrying an armful of tools. Saws, hammers, nails. Good, good, he says. We build today. You eat first? We ate, you lie. Greta makes a face like she knows you're lying. She disappears into what looks like a separate room, an actual separate room, multiple rooms in one house. She comes back with 2 bowls of something hot. You can see steam rising. Eat, she orders, not asks, orders. You and Samuel sit. The bowls contain some kind of porridge, but thick porridge, real porridge, with chunks of actual meat in it. Meat. You haven't had meat in 3 weeks. You try to eat slow, try to be polite, but your body has other ideas. You shovel it in. Samuel does the same. The Muller kids watch you eat like wolves. Your father, Heinrich says, he is worse. You swallow. Yeah, Greta has herbs. We send some back with you. Greta nods. Already moving to a shelf where bundles of dried plants hang. She starts picking through them. You finish the porridge. Your stomach feels full for the first time in weeks, uncomfortably full actually, like you might be sick. Come, Heinrich says, we work now, build fast before more snow. You follow him outside to a shed behind the barn. Inside are planks of wood, rough cut but solid. I cut these last fall, he explains, was going to make new fence, but fence can wait. Your cows, they cannot wait. He starts loading planks into your arms. 6 of them. They're heavy. Green wood, not fully dried, but they're something. Samuel gets smaller pieces. Stakes for posts, crossbeams for the roof. We need maybe 3 trips, Heinrich says. You understand how to build? I think so. 3 walls. Roof slanted. Open side faces away from wind. East, always east. Wind comes from west in winter. You nod like you understand completely. You don't understand completely, but you'll figure it out. The 3 of you haul wood through the snow to your farm. It takes almost an hour. By the 3rd trip, your arms feel like they're going to fall off. When you're done, there's a pile of lumber next to where May and Betty are standing. The cows look at it with 0 interest. May still has that dead look in her eyes. We start here, Heinrich says, pacing out a rectangle in the snow. 8 feet by 8 feet, big enough for 2 cows to stand. He shows you how to dig holes in the frozen ground for the posts. It's brutal work. The ground is frozen solid. You have to use the axe to break through the ice, then dig with a spade. Your hands blister inside your mittens. Samuel helps hold the posts steady while Heinrich nails the crossbeams. The kid's actually useful when he's not whining about being cold. You work through the morning. The sun climbs higher but doesn't warm anything. Your breath makes constant clouds. Sweat freezes on your back under your coat. But the shelter starts to take shape. 3 walls, rough but solid. Heinrich knows what he's doing. Every nail is placed right. Every board is level. Roof now, he says. Most important, keep snow off them. The roof is harder. You have to hold planks up while Heinrich nails them to the frame. Your arms shake from the weight. One of the planks slips, almost hits Samuel in the head. "Watch it," he yells. "I'm watching you watch it. Both of you watch it," Heinrich barks. "Careful or we build this again tomorrow after someone breaks a head." You get the roof on. It's slanted, angles down from back to front so snow will slide off instead of piling up. By early afternoon, it's done. A rough lean-to shelter. 3 walls, a roof, open to the east. It looks like something a strong wind could knock over. But it's standing. "Now," Heinrich says, "we put hay inside, make it warm. You go to your cabin and grab all the hay you have left, carry it to the shelter in armfuls, spread it thick on the ground inside. Then comes the hard part, getting May and Betty to actually go inside." Betty figures it out pretty quick. You lead her by the halter. She sees the hay, walks right in, starts eating. May won't move. You pull her halter. Nothing. You push her from behind. Nothing. She just stands there like a statue. "She's too far gone," Heinrich says quietly. "Sometimes they just give up." "She's not giving up," you say. You grab a handful of hay, hold it right in front of May's nose, wave it around. Her nostrils flare just a little. "Come on," you think. "Come on, May. Just a few steps." You back toward the shelter. Keep the hay in front of her nose. She takes a step, then another. Then she's inside the shelter, eating the hay from your hand. You want to cry from relief. Samuel is grinning. Heinrich is nodding approval. "Good," he says. "You did good. Now they have chance." He helps you reinforce the walls with extra planks, shows you how to pack snow around the base to keep wind from blowing underneath. By the time you're finished, the shelter actually looks solid. Not great, but solid. May and Betty are both inside, eating hay, protected from the wind. It's not a barn, it's not heated, but it's better than standing in an open field waiting to die. Your father would be proud, Heinrich says. You built good thing today. You look at the shelter, at the rough planks and crooked nails, at May finally eating again. Thank you, you say. For the wood, for helping. He shrugs. Is what neighbours do. You would do same for me. Would you? You want to think you would, but you're not sure. When you're barely surviving yourself, helping others feels impossible, but Heinrich did it anyway. Greta packed food for your family, he says, and herbs for your father. Come. Back at the Muller house, Greta hands you a small cloth bag. You can feel the weight of it. Bread, cheese, something that feels like sausage. For your mother, she says. Tell her yarrow tea 3 times a day and mustard plaster on his chest at night. You nod. Take the bag. The weight of it feels like gold. Thank you, you say again. Go, she says. Before dark. Is not safe on roads after dark. You and Samuel head back through the snow. The bag of food feels heavy in a good way. Samuel won't stop talking about the shelter. Did you see May eat? She actually ate, and Betty just walked right in like she knew, and we built that. We actually built something. His excitement is contagious. You find yourself smiling despite everything. When you get home, your mother is sitting by the fire. She looks up when you enter, sees the bag. Heinrich sent food, you say, and herbs for father. She takes the bag, opens it. Her hands shake slightly when she sees what's inside. And we built a shelter, Samuel announces, for May and Betty, 3 walls and a roof and everything. Your mother looks at you, really looks at you, and for the first time in days, she smiles. Show me, she says. All 3 of you go outside to the field. The shelter is visible from the cabin. You can see May and Betty inside, eating hay out of the wind. Your mother stares at it for a long time. You did this? She asks. Heinrich helped, but yeah. She puts her hand on your shoulder, squeezes. Your father will want to see this, she says. Back inside, you help your father sit up. He's weak, can barely stand, but you and your mother get him to the door. He looks out at the shelter. Well, he says, his voice rough. Look at that. He coughs. But it sounds different, less wet. Maybe the herbs are helping. Maybe he's just having a better moment. Or maybe seeing his sons build something gave him a reason to keep fighting. Good work, William, he says. Good work, Samuel. Samuel beams. You feel something tight in your chest loosen just a little. That night, dinner is actual stew, with meat from the sausage Greta sent, with bread that isn't rock hard. Everyone eats slowly, making it last, savouring every bite. Your father manages to eat a full bowl, keeps it down. Martha smiles. Samuel talks non-stop about building the shelter. Your mother makes yarrow tea. The smell fills the cabin, sharp, medicinal. Outside, the temperature drops as the sun sets, but May and Betty are in their shelter. Protected, you lie down on your straw mattress that night with a full stomach for the first time in weeks. It won't last. Tomorrow you'll be hungry again. Tomorrow will be just as cold. But tonight, you built something. You saved 2 lives. You helped your family survive one more day. And sometimes that's all you can do. One more day. Just keep making it one more day. You close your eyes and actually sleep. Real sleep. Not that shallow, restless half sleep. Deep sleep. The kind of sleep you're probably drifting into right now in your warm bed without having to wonder if you'll wake up, without having to fight for every single day. Just sleep. Safe and sound. 3 days after building the shelter, your mother announces you're going trading. Trading what? You ask. You don't have anything to trade. She pulls out a bundle wrapped in cloth, opens it. Inside are 4 candles she made last fall from beef tallow. They're precious. Light after dark means you can actually see what you're doing. Mrs. Fletcher has wool, your mother says. Real wool. Her husband went to Philadelphia last month before the big freeze. She'll trade. The Fletchers live about a mile north. You've met them exactly once, last summer at a barn raising. They seemed nice enough, had 7 kids, all under 12. Why do we need wool? Samuel asks. Your mother points at his shirt. There's a hole in it the size of your fist. You can see his skin through it. Oh, Samuel says. William, Martha, you're coming with me, your mother says. Samuel stays here with your father. Samuel's face falls. He wanted to go. But someone needs to tend the fire and your father's still too weak to do it himself. Your mother bundles up, puts on every layer she owns, wraps a scarf around her face so only her eyes show. You and Martha do the same. She grabs the candles. You grab a walking stick in case you need to break through ice or push away snow. We'll be back before dark, she tells your father. He nods, doesn't argue. That's how you know he's still sick. Normal father would insist on coming, on being the one to protect his family. The walk to the Fletchers is brutal. The path is barely visible under fresh snow. You're walking through woods mostly, trees on both sides. Their branches hang low, heavy with ice. Every few minutes you hear a crack. Somewhere in the forest another branch is breaking under the weight. They sound like musket shots. Stay close, your mother says. Martha grabs your coat sleeve. She's scared. You don't blame her. The woods feel different in winter, dangerous, like something's watching you. Probably just deer, or rabbits, or wolves. You try not to think about wolves. It takes almost an hour to reach the Fletcher place. By the time you see their cabin, your legs are screaming and your face is so numb you can't feel it anymore. The Fletcher cabin is bigger than yours. Not by much, but enough to matter. Smoke pours from their chimney. You can hear kids yelling inside. Your mother knocks. The door opens and noise spills out. Mrs. Fletcher stands there with a baby on her hip. She's maybe 30, looks 45. Winter does that. "Mary," she says to your mother, come in. You'll freeze standing there. Inside is chaos. Kids everywhere, running, fighting, crying, playing. The oldest can't be more than 11. "Don't mind them," Mrs. Fletcher says over the noise. "They've been inside for 2 weeks, going crazy." She hands the baby to one of the older girls, leads you to the fireplace. It's smaller than Heinrich's, but putting out decent heat. "You brought the candles?" she asks. Your mother unwraps the bundle, shows the 4 tallow candles. Mrs. Fletcher picks one up, sniffs it, nods. "Good quality," she says. "I can give you 2 skeins of wool, grey, already carded." Your mother considers this. 2 skeins isn't much, but it's something. "And a cup of buttermilk," Mrs. Fletcher adds. "For the children." Deal. They shake hands. Mrs. Fletcher disappears into a back corner and returns with the wool. It's rough, scratchy looking, but it's whole. No holes, no worn patches. Martha's eyes light up when she sees it. The buttermilk comes in a small wooden cup. Mrs. Fletcher pours it from a larger container. The liquid is thick, white, smells sour but good. "Split it between them," Mrs. Fletcher says. "Should help with the hunger." Your mother takes the cup, divides it between you and Martha, 3 sips each. It's the best thing you've tasted in weeks. Rich, fatty, it coats your throat going down. "How's your husband?" Mrs. Fletcher asks, while her kids run circles around you. "Sick," your mother admits. "Lung fever, maybe." "Mine too," Mrs. Fletcher says. "Been coughing for a week. Men get sick and suddenly they're dying. Meanwhile, we're out here doing everything and somehow we survive." Your mother laughs. Actually laughs. It's the first time you've heard that sound in months. "Truth," your mother says. "You have yarrow?" Mrs. Fletcher asks. "Heinrich's wife sent some?" "Good. Yarrow helps. Also onion poultice if it gets bad. Smells terrible, but it works." They talk like this for a while, swapping remedies, comparing symptoms. It's weird hearing adults talk about disease like they're discussing the weather. But then again, disease is the weather here. Comes and goes, kills some people, spares others. No rhyme or reason. One of the Fletcher kids, a boy about Samuel's age, walks up to you. "You want to see something?" he asks. "Sure." He leads you to a corner of the cabin, points at a small wooden box. "Open it," he says. You open it. Inside is a dead mouse, frozen solid. "I caught it last week," the boy says proudly. "Gonna keep it till spring, see if it comes back to life." "It's not coming back to life," you say. "How do you know?" "Because it's dead. But maybe the cold just made it sleep really hard." You look at the frozen mouse. Its tiny mouth is open. Its eyes are clouded. "It's dead," you repeat. The boy looks disappointed, closes the box. Kids in winter get weird. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. They start thinking frozen mice might come back to life. Can't really blame them. Martha is talking to one of the Fletcher girls near the fire. They're comparing holes in their clothes, seeing who has it worse. Martha's winning. Her dress has patches on the patches. "Your mother's a good seamstress," the Fletcher girl says. "Those patches are neat." "She used to make dresses for rich ladies," Martha says. Back in England, before we came here. Why'd you come here? Father said there was land, opportunity. The Fletcher girl snorts. Opportunity to freeze to death, maybe. They both laugh. Dark humour, the kind you need to survive. Your mother and Mrs. Fletcher are still talking. You catch bits of the conversation. Heard the Taylor family lost their youngest. Frozen in their sleep. Just like the Hendersons last year. Spring can't come soon enough. Death is just part of the conversation now. Who died? Who's dying? Who might die next? You used to think death was this big, scary thing, something that happened to old people or soldiers. Now you know it's just Winter's favourite hobby. After about an hour, your mother says you need to leave. Get home before dark. Mrs. Fletcher walks you to the door, hands your mother a small bundle wrapped in cloth. Bread, she says quietly. Don't tell Mr. Fletcher. He thinks we're out. Your mother tries to refuse. Mrs. Fletcher pushes it into her hands. Take it, she says. We're all barely making it. Might as well barely make it together. The walk home is quieter. You're all thinking about what Mrs. Fletcher said, about the families that didn't make it, about how easily you could be next. The bread in your mother's bag feels heavy, like responsibility, like debt. You'll have to pay it back somehow. That's how it works here. Everyone gives what they can. Everyone takes what they need. And somehow, maybe, everyone survives. Maybe. By the time you get home, the sun is low. The temperature is dropping fast. Your father is awake. Still in bed, but awake. Samuel is sitting next to him, showing him the corn husk doll. How'd it go? Your father asks. Good. Your mother says. She shows him the wool. Enough to patch everyone's clothes, and Mrs. Fletcher sent bread. Your father's eyes get wet. He blinks fast. Good people, he says. Good people here. That night, your mother starts mending. She takes the wool and begins working it into patches for Samuel's shirt. Her fingers move fast despite the cold. Years of practice. Martha helps, threading needles, cutting scraps. You and Samuel feed the fire, add logs, make sure it stays strong. Your father drinks his yarrow tea, 3 cups, like Greta said. He doesn't complain about the taste, even though it's bitter as hell. For dinner, you have the bread Mrs. Fletcher sent. Your mother cuts it into 6 pieces. Everyone gets one. It's good bread, dense, filling, made with actual wheat flour, not just cornmeal. You eat it slow, make it last. Outside, the wind is picking up again. You can hear it howling around the cabin. The gaps in the walls whistle, but inside, there's the fire. There's food in your belly. There's wool to patch your clothes. There's family. Your father falls asleep sitting up, the first time he's slept anywhere but lying flat in days. Your mother finishes Samuel's shirt, holds it up. The patch is visible but neat. The hole is covered. There, she says. Good as new. It's not good as new. Not even close. But it's better than it was. That's all you can ask for. Better than it was. Samuel puts on the shirt, spins around. Look, no hole. Martha smiles. Very fancy. The fanciest, you add. Your father opens his eyes, watches Samuel spin. Handsome boy, he says. His voice is stronger than this morning. The herbs are working, or the rest is working, or maybe he's just having a good day. You'll take it either way. Martha finishes mending your breeches. The knee was torn, almost completely open. Now there's a wool patch holding it together. Try them, she says. You slip them on. The patch is rough but warm. Perfect, you say. Your mother starts on her own dress next. There are holes you didn't even notice in the hem, under the arms, along the back. She patches them one by one, working by firelight, squinting to see the stitches. This is what survival looks like, not grand gestures or heroic acts. Just mending. patching, making do, taking what's broken and making it work one more day. You sit by the fire and watch your mother sew, watch Martha help, watch Samuel play with his doll, watch your father breathe steady and calm. This is the good moment. You know there will be bad moments tomorrow. More cold, more hunger, more struggle. But right now, in this moment, everyone's alive. Everyone's together. That's enough. Outside, something howls. Probably a wolf. They come closer to the settlements in winter, looking for food, same as everyone else. Your mother glances at the door. It's barred, secured. We're safe, she says, to herself more than anyone. The fire crackles, sparks fly up the chimney. Martha yawns. Samuel's eyes are drooping. Even you're feeling tired. Good tired, the kind that comes from a full belly and warm fire. Your father is fully asleep now, snoring slightly. That wet rattle in his breathing is quieter. Your mother finishes the last patch, bites off the thread, holds up her dress. Done, she says. She looks at all of you, her children, her husband, her family. We're going to make it, she says. Not a question, a statement. We're going to make it to spring. You want to believe her. You try to believe her. Maybe if you believe hard enough, it'll be true. Time for bed, she says. Everyone moves to their mattresses. The fire is banked. The cabin grows darker. You lie down. Pull your blanket up. The patch in your breeches scratches against your leg. But it's keeping you warmer than before. Small victories, that's all winter is. A collection of small victories, a patched shirt, a shared meal, a day where nobody dies. Stack enough small victories together and maybe you get spring. You close your eyes, listen to your family breathing around you. Your father's snoring, your mother's soft sighs, Martha's steady breath, Samuel's little snuffles. Everyone's alive, everyone's here. That's today's victory. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new struggles, new tests. But tonight, you've won. You've survived another day. And while you drift off in your warm bed right now with your patched pajamas that you chose to wear because they're comfortable, not because they're the only ones you have, remember this. Remember that survival is built from small moments, small acts of kindness, small pieces of bread shared, small patches sown by firelight. That's how you make it. One small moment at a time. A week later, your father gets out of bed. Not for long, just long enough to walk to the fire and back, but it's something. Look at me, he says, breathing hard from the effort. Strong as an ox. He looks like a scarecrow, all bones and pale skin, but he's upright. That counts. Your mother makes him sit by the fire, wraps a blanket around his shoulders, brings him weak broth to sip. The yarrow worked, she says, maybe. Or maybe he was just lucky. You'll never know which. We need supplies, your father announces after his third cup of broth. The settlement is having a gathering, Saturday. Everyone brings what they have, trades what they need. You're not going, your mother says. Not a question. I'm going. You can barely stand. I'll sit in the wagon. We don't have a wagon. Fine, I'll ride Bess. Your mother and father stare at each other, one of those silent married people arguments where they're fighting without saying anything. Your father wins. He usually does. Saturday comes cold and clear, no new snow at least. The sky is that pale winter blue that promises nothing but more cold. Your father bundles up in every layer he owns. Your mother helps him onto Bess. The old horse huffs like this is a personal insult. You and your mother walk alongside. Martha stays home with Samuel to tend the fire. The settlement centre is about 3 miles south. It's not really a centre, just a clearing where 4 roads meet. Someone built a rough shelter there last year. 3 walls and a roof. Sound familiar? By the time you arrive, maybe 20 people are already there. Families you recognise from church. Neighbours you've seen but never talked to. Everyone looks the same. Thin, tired, cold, but alive. People have spread blankets on the snow, set out whatever they're willing to trade. It's depressing how little there is. One family has 3 potatoes, another has a handful of dried corn. The Hendersons have a chicken, a live one. It's scrawny but clucking. Someone else has firewood, about 10 logs. This is the market. This is commerce in winter. Scraps traded for scraps. Your mother brought 2 candles, the last 2. She sets them on a cloth. People immediately drift over. Candles are valuable. Light after dark is a luxury most people can't afford. What do you want for them? Asks a woman you don't know. Flour, your mother says, or cornmeal, or beans, whatever you have. The woman considers. She's maybe 50. Hard to tell. Could be 35. Winter ages people weird. I got dried peas, she says. Half a cup. Your mother nods. Deal. They shake hands. The woman takes 1 candle, comes back with a small cloth bag. Your mother checks it. Dried peas. Looks like maybe 3/4 of a cup, actually. Honest measure. That's rare. The second candle goes to an old man who offers cornmeal, about the same amount as the peas. Now you've got something for dinner tonight and tomorrow. Maybe the next day if you stretch it. Your father is sitting on a stump near the shelter, talking to Heinrich and 2 other men. They're discussing something serious. You can tell by their faces. You drift closer to listen. River's been frozen for near 3 weeks now, one man is saying. Some folks been skating, but I heard the ice cracked yesterday near the town docks. People were on it? Heinrich asks. About 20. They all made it off, but just barely. Could have been bad. Your father shakes his head. Fools. Ice on a river is never safe, always moving underneath. Tell that to kids, the man says. They don't listen. Peter Kalm wrote about this. People skating on the Delaware River, how it froze solid in Philadelphia, how people set up booths on the ice selling brandy and food. Then the ice broke up and everyone ran for their lives. It sounded exciting when you read it, less exciting when you're hearing about people almost drowning in freezing water. The Dawsons lost their boy, another man says quietly. 2 days ago. Everyone goes silent. Which one? Your father asks. The middle one, James. He was 11. How? Fever, same as everyone else. Just took him fast. Your stomach drops. You know James Dawson. Played with him at the barn raising last summer. He taught you how to skip stones on the creek. Now he's dead. Just like that. His parents? Your father asks. Broken, the man says. They buried him yesterday. Ground was so frozen they had to build a fire just to thaw it enough to dig. Nobody speaks for a minute. What do you say to that? Nothing. There's nothing to say. Death is just part of winter. You drift away from the men. Their conversation is too heavy, too real. Near the shelter you see a group of kids, maybe 6 or 7 of them, all around your age or younger. One of them waves at you. It's the Fletcher boy, the one with the frozen mouse. Hey, he calls, come here. You walk over. The kids are gathered around something on the ground. It's a circle drawn in the snow. Inside the circle are 5 stones. We're playing knucklebones, the Fletcher boy explains. Want in? You haven't played a game in months. Forgot games existed. Sure, you say. The rules are simple. Throw a stone up, grab as many stones from the circle as you can before catching the first stone. Most stones wins. You're terrible at it. Your fingers are too cold, too stiff. You drop stones. Miss catches. The other kids aren't much better, but you're all laughing. Actually laughing. When the Fletcher boy drops a stone and it bounces off his foot, everyone loses it. It feels good to laugh. Feels like being human again instead of just surviving. A girl about Martha's age joins the game. She's good, really good. Catches 4 stones in one grab. Where'd you learn that, you ask? My grandmother taught me, she says, back in England, before she died. Oh, sorry, you say. She shrugs. Everyone dies. At least she got to be old first. Can't argue with that logic. You play for maybe half an hour, until your fingers are so numb you literally can't feel the stones anymore. The sun is past its peak now. Afternoon. People are starting to pack up their trade goods. The gathering is winding down. Your mother finds you. Time to go. Your father's exhausted. Your father looks terrible, sitting on Bess, swaying slightly. The trip here took everything he had, but he's smiling. Good day, he says. Saw people, traded goods, felt normal. Your mother helps steady him on the horse. You start the long walk home. About halfway back, you hear shouting. It's coming from the direction of the river. The Delaware River is maybe a quarter-mile east of the road you're on. Someone's in trouble, your mother says. Your father tries to dismount. Your mother stops him. You stay here, William, go look, but don't get close to the ice. You run toward the shouting, through trees, over a small hill. The river comes into view. And there, about 30 feet from shore, is a boy standing on ice. He's maybe 12, and he's stuck. The ice around him is cracked, spiderweb cracks spreading out in every direction. He's standing perfectly still because any movement might send him through. On the shore, a woman is screaming, "Don't move, just don't move." That must be his mother. Other people are gathering. Someone has a rope. They're trying to figure out how to reach him without more people going onto the ice. Heinrich is there. Of course he is. He's always there when someone needs help. He's tied the rope around his waist. 2 other men are holding the other end. "I'm coming," Heinrich yells to the boy. "Stay still." He steps onto the ice, tests his weight. The ice holds. He takes another step, then another. The ice groans. This deep creaking sound like the earth is complaining. Heinrich freezes. "Back up," someone yells. It won't hold, but the boy is still out there, still stuck. You watch Heinrich make a choice. You can see it on his face. Go forward and maybe die. Go back and definitely let the boy die. He goes forward step by careful step. The ice groans with each movement. The cracks spread wider. He's maybe 10 feet from the boy now. "Reach out," Heinrich says. "As far as you can." The boy extends his arm, shaking, terrified. Heinrich extends his arm. Their fingers are about 6 inches apart. "You have to move," Heinrich says. "1 step, just 1. "I can't," the boy whimpers. "You can. 1 step. I'll catch you." The boy takes a breath, lifts his foot. The ice cracks, not breaks, just cracks, loud, sharp, but it holds. The boy takes the step, reaches, grabs Heinrich's hand. Heinrich pulls him close, wraps an arm around him. "Now we walk," Heinrich says. Slowly, together. They move as one unit. Step, pause, step, pause. The ice keeps groaning. You're holding your breath. Everyone on shore is holding their breath. Step, pause, step, pause. They're 5 feet from shore when you hear it. A crack, not like before, louder, deeper. The ice under Heinrich's back foot gives way. He doesn't fall through, not completely, but his leg goes in, up to his knee in black water. The boy screams. The men on shore pull the rope, hard, fast. Heinrich and the boy get dragged forward, across the ice, sliding on their stomachs. They reach shore, hands grab them, pull them up onto solid ground. The boy's mother is crying, holding him, checking him for injuries. Heinrich is sitting on the ground. His leg is soaked, already starting to freeze. "Get him to a fire," someone says. "Now." 2 men help him up, start walking him toward the nearest house. That's the Henderson place. About half a mile. You run back to your mother and father. Tell them what happened. Your father nods slowly. Heinrich is a good man, a very good man. He almost died, you say. Yes, that's what makes him good. You don't really understand that, but you don't argue. The rest of the walk home is quiet. Everyone's thinking about what almost happened. That boy could have died. Heinrich could have died. And for what? Because some kid decided to walk on river ice that wasn't solid enough. But Heinrich went anyway. That's what neighbors do here. They risk everything for each other. Because everyone knows it could be them next time. Their kid on the ice, their family starving, their house burning. Help your neighbor today. Maybe they'll help you tomorrow. That's the deal. Back at the cabin, Martha and Samuel have kept the fire going strong. Samuel is excited to hear about the gathering. "Did you bring anything back?" he asks. Your mother shows him the peas and cornmeal. His face falls. "That's it?" "That's it. I thought there would be more." "Everyone's struggling, Samuel. Nobody has extra." He goes quiet. Your father collapses onto his mattress. The trip exhausted him. He's asleep in seconds. Your mother makes dinner. The peas boiled with a little salt. It's thin, watery, but it's warm. You tell Martha about the ice, about Heinrich and the boy. "Is Heinrich okay?" she asks. "I think so. They got him to a fire fast. He could have died." "Yeah. Would you have done that? Gone out on the ice?" You think about it. Really think about it. "I don't know," you admit. "I want to say yes, but I don't know." Martha nods. "Me neither." That night, the wind howls harder than usual. Snow starts falling again, not heavy, but steady. You lie on your mattress and think about that boy on the ice, about Heinrich walking toward him knowing the ice might break, about what it means to be brave. You used to think brave meant not being scared. Now you know better. Brave means being scared and doing it anyway. Heinrich was scared. You saw it on his face, but he went anyway. That's bravery. You pull your blanket tighter. The patched breeches scratch your leg. The cabin creaks in the wind. But everyone's here. Everyone's alive. May and Betty are in their shelter. Your father is breathing steady. Your mother is banking the fire. This is another day survived, another small victory. You close your eyes and try to sleep. Try not to think about cracking ice and black water. Try not to think about how easily everything can go wrong. Just sleep, like you're doing right now, in your safe bed, where the only water is in a glass on your nightstand, where bravery means trying something new. Not risking your life to save a stranger, where winter is something you watch through a window, not something that tries to kill you every single day. Just sleep, safe, warm, alive. February arrives with warmer winds. Not warm, just warmer, like the air has decided it's tired of trying to kill you and settles for just making you uncomfortable instead. The snow starts to melt, not all at once, just slow, steady, drip by drip from the roof of the cabin. Your father is up and moving now. Still weak, but functional. He can split wood for short periods before needing to rest, can check on May and Betty without help. Small improvements, but they add up. "I think we might make it," he says one morning, not to anyone in particular, just saying it out loud. Your mother touches wood for luck, doesn't say anything, doesn't want to jinx it, but you can see it in her face. Hope, actual hope. The Mullers come by on a Sunday afternoon. All of them. Heinrich, Greta, and all 6 kids. They bring food, real food. Not a lot, but more than you've seen in one place in months. Bread, cheese, some kind of sausage, a small jar of honey. "We share," Greta says when your mother tries to refuse, "is how we survive, together." The 2 families sit around your fire, 8 adults and kids crammed into your one-room cabin. It should feel crowded. Instead, it feels full, alive. The Muller kids teach Samuel and Martha a German singing game. It involves clapping hands and trying not to laugh. Samuel is terrible at it, but having the time of his life. Heinrich and your father talk about spring planting, what crops to try, where to clear more land. We help each other, Heinrich says. You help me plant, I help you plant. Work goes faster. Your father nods. Deal. They shake hands like it's a business contract. Maybe it is. A contract to survive together. You sit and listen to the adults talk. They're planning, looking forward. That's new. For months, everyone's been focused on just getting through the next day, the next hour. Now they're talking about March, April, May. The river will thaw soon, one of Heinrich's older boys says to you. Then we can fish again. Fish. You'd forgotten fish existed. Real protein, not just thin vegetable soup. You know how to fish? You ask. Father taught me last summer. I'll teach you when the ice breaks. Yeah? Yeah. Is boring to fish alone. The Mullers stay for maybe 2 hours. When they leave, the cabin feels empty, but good empty, like something warm had been there and left a glow behind. That night, your mother uses some of the Muller's flour to make actual bread, real bread, with yeast and everything. The smell fills the cabin. Samuel keeps asking when it'll be ready. Your mother keeps swatting his hand away from the oven. Soon, she says. Patience. When the bread finally comes out, it's golden, steaming. The crust crackles when your mother cuts into it. She gives everyone a thick slice, warm bread, with a tiny bit of the honey spread on top. You eat it slow. Let each bite melt in your mouth, the sweetness of the honey, the softness of the bread. This is the best thing you've eaten in 4 months, maybe in your whole life. Good? Your mother asks. Samuel just nods. His mouth is too full to talk. Your father is crying, actually crying, tears running down his face as he eats. Sorry, he says, it's good bread, but it's not about the bread, you know that. It's about surviving long enough to eat it, about making it far enough to taste honey again. It's about hope. The next week brings more melting. The icicles hanging from your roof get longer during the day. Drip, drip, drip. Then freeze again at night. But each day, a little less freezes back. Progress. Your father announces you're going to church, the first time in 2 months. Is it safe? Your mother asks. Safe enough. The roads are bad but passable, and we need to see people, need to pray. So Sunday comes and you all get ready. Clean clothes, well, cleaner clothes. Your mother does her best to make everyone presentable. The walk to church takes an hour. The church is about 2 miles south, a simple wooden building with a small steeple. By the time you arrive, maybe 30 people are already there, more than you expected, everyone looking thin and tired, but there, still alive. The service is led by Mr. Peterson, a farmer who knows some Bible verses. There's no real preacher. He left for Philadelphia last fall and never came back. Mr. Peterson reads from Psalms, something about valleys and shadows and fear. Everyone nods along. That's about right. After the service, people linger. Nobody wants to go back to their cold cabins yet. They stand around outside talking, sharing news. You learn that the Dawsons are moving back to Philadelphia in spring. Can't handle another winter here, not after losing James. You learn that the Hendersons' barn burned down last week. They lost everything. Now they're staying with the Coopers until they can rebuild. You learn that Mrs. Fletcher is pregnant again, baby number 8, due in June. That woman's going to have a whole army, someone jokes. She'll need them, someone else says. Farm work takes all the hands you can get. You also learn that Heinrich's leg is fine. The ice water didn't cause lasting damage. He was back to work within 2 days. Tough old German, your father says with admiration. On the walk home, you pass the Delaware River. You can see it from the road. The ice is breaking up, large chunks floating downstream, the dark water visible between them. Soon the river will be completely thawed, boats will move again, trade will resume, the world will feel less isolated. Your father stops to watch the ice flow past. Beautiful in a way, he says. It is. The chunks of ice catch the sunlight, glitter like diamonds floating on black water. But it's also dangerous. Anyone who fell in now would die in minutes. The water is still freezing cold. Beauty and danger. That's winter. That's everything here. Back at the cabin, Martha is fixing dinner. Just thin soup again. The supplies from the Muellers are almost gone. Back to stretching everything. But nobody complains. You've learned not to waste energy complaining. That night, your father reads from an old newspaper he's been saving. It's from last October, before the big freeze, back when the world felt normal. The news is outdated, useless, really, but hearing him read it is comforting, his voice steady, the words familiar, even if the events are months past. He reads about a ship arriving from England, about trade prices in Philadelphia, about some minor political dispute you don't understand. Samuel falls asleep listening. Martha's eyes are drooping. Your father folds the newspaper carefully, puts it back in its spot. He's read it maybe 20 times this winter. It's practically falling apart. But it's something, a connection to the outside world, a reminder that beyond these frozen woods, life continues. Bed, your mother announces. The routine is familiar now. Bank the fire, check the door is barred, make sure everyone has a blanket. You lie down on your straw mattress. It's less frozen now. The warmer air has softened it slightly. Outside you can hear water dripping, the snow melting off the roof. A steady rhythm, drip, drip, drip. It's almost musical. Your father is breathing easy. No more wet rattle. The yarrow tea worked, or time worked, or luck worked. Doesn't matter which. He's better. May and Betty are both alive, both eating. The shelter saved them. They'll make it to spring. Your family will make it to spring. Maybe 6 more weeks. Maybe less if the weather keeps warming. You can do 6 weeks. You've done 4 months. What's 6 more weeks? William, Martha whispers from her mattress. You awake? Yeah. I was thinking about England. What about it? Do you miss it? You think about that. England feels like a dream now. Something that happened to someone else. Different life. Different world. Sometimes, you say, but not as much as I used to. Me neither. Is that weird? Maybe, or maybe we're just different people now. She's quiet for a minute. I like the people here, she says. Heinrich, Mrs. Fletcher, even mean old Mr. Peterson who always looks angry. He does always look angry. But he shared his firewood when the Hendersons' barn burned. Did you hear that? Just gave them half his supply. That's good. Everyone helps everyone, even when they have nothing. We didn't have that in England. She's right. In England, you barely knew your neighbours. Here, you know everyone within 5 miles. You depend on them. They depend on you. It's different. Not better or worse. Just different. I think we're going to be okay, Martha says. I think we'll make it. I think so too. Good night, William. Good night. She's asleep in minutes. You can tell by her breathing. Deep and steady. Samuel is snoring softly. Your father too. Your mother is still awake. You can sense it. She's probably lying there, planning, worrying. Mothers never really rest. But even her breathing is calmer than it's been in months. The fire pops, sends a small shower of sparks up the chimney. The wind outside is gentle, not howling, not trying to tear the cabin apart, just a soft breeze, spring breeze. You drift into sleep slowly, peacefully, and in your sleep you dream of green grass, of warm sunshine, of gardens growing, of May and Betty in a field of clover, fat and healthy. You dream of spring. While you, in your warm bed, in your heated house, drift into sleep without dreams of survival, without dreams at all, maybe, just deep, peaceful sleep. The kind William is finally starting to feel After months of shallow, anxious rest, he's sleeping like a child again, safe, protected, knowing tomorrow will come and he'll face it. One more day, one more small victory, until the small victories add up to something bigger. Until winter ends and spring begins. Until survival becomes living again. The dripping outside continues, steady, rhythmic, like a heartbeat, the heartbeat of winter dying and spring being born. The first robin arrives on March 12th. Samuel spots it, just a small brown bird with a red chest hopping around in the melting snow near the cabin. "Look," he shouts, "a robin!" Everyone comes to the door to see, even your father, who's strong enough now to walk without help. The bird pecks at the ground, finds something, flies off. "That's it," your mother says quietly. "Winter's over." Not technically, not according to the calendar, but according to the birds, according to the land itself, winter is done. The next week brings warmth, real warmth, days where the sun actually feels hot on your face, where the snow melts so fast you can hear it running in small streams towards the creek. The mud is terrible. Everything is mud. Your shoes are caked in it. The floor of the cabin is covered in it, but nobody cares. Mud means thaw. Thaw means spring. Spring means survival. Your father starts working on the garden plot, turning soil that's been frozen for months. It's hard work. He has to rest every few minutes, but he's doing it. "We'll plant early this year," he says. "Peas first. They can handle a late frost, then beans, then corn." He's planning, building, looking forward. The root cellar is almost empty now. Just a few withered potatoes and some sprouted onions. You've been eating the same thin soup for weeks. But the hunting is getting better. Your father shot a turkey 2 days ago, an actual turkey. The whole family ate real meat for the first time since December. Martha cried when she took her first bite, just sat there with tears running down her face, chewing. Nobody made fun of her. You all understood. May and Betty are getting fatter. The grass is starting to come back, small green shoots pushing up through the mud. The cows spend all day grazing, making up for lost time. May's eyes don't look dead anymore. She actually seems happy. Moose, when you bring her water, let Samuel pet her nose. "She knows we saved her," Samuel says. Maybe, or maybe she's just a cow who likes not starving. Either way, she made it. The Mullers come by again, this time to help plant. Heinrich brings seeds, turnip seeds, cabbage seeds, squash seeds. "From my stores," he says. "You pay back after harvest, or don't, whatever." The two families work together, turning soil, making rows, planting seeds with careful spacing. The Muller kids run around like wild animals, all that energy they've been holding in all winter just exploding out of them. Samuel joins them. They play some chasing game you don't understand. Screaming and laughing and falling in the mud. Your mother doesn't even yell at them about the mud. She just smiles, watches them play. That's how you know things are different now. Before, everything was about survival, about not wasting anything, not even energy for playing. Now there's room for joy again. By afternoon, the planting is done. Both families sit around outside in the sun, without coats. Greta brought bread and cheese. Your mother found some dried apples at the bottom of a barrel. Everyone shares. It's a feast, by winter standards anyway. By spring standards, it's just a meal. But it tastes like victory. "We made it," Heinrich says, raising a cup of water. "All of us, we made it." Everyone raises their cups, even the kids. "To spring," your father says. "To spring," everyone repeats. You drink. The water is cool, fresh, tastes like melted snow and new beginnings. Later that evening, after the Mullers leave, your family sits around the fire. But it's different now. The fire is smaller. You don't need it for survival anymore, just for light and cooking. The gaps in the walls don't matter as much. The wind coming through is warm now, soft. Your father is looking stronger every day, colour returning to his face, weight coming back onto his bones. I was thinking, he says, this summer we'll fix the cabin, fill those gaps properly. Maybe build an actual window frame with shutters. Real shutters, Samuel asks. Real shutters. Can we get glass? Maybe. We'll see. That's parent code for probably not. But Samuel looks excited anyway. Martha is sewing by the firelight. She's making a new dress from scraps. It's not pretty, but it's hers. Something new after months of just repairing old things. I'm going to learn to read better, she announces. There's a teacher coming to the settlement in May. Mr. Peterson said so. That's good, your mother says. Learning is good. You think about what you want to do, what you want to learn, how to build better shelters maybe, how to help neighbours, how to survive but also live. You're 13 years old. You've survived your first colonial winter. You've watched people die, watched people save each other, watched your father nearly die and then come back. You're not the same person who woke up shivering on January 21st. You're harder now, but also softer. You understand what matters. Family, neighbours, kindness, bread shared when you have nothing, wood given freely, risks taken to save strangers. Those are the things that get you through winter. Not just physical winter, any hard time. That night you all go to bed earlier than usual. The sun sets later now. The days are longer. But everyone's tired from planting. Good tired. You lie on your straw mattress. It's still the same lumpy, uncomfortable thing it's always been, but you barely notice anymore. Outside you can hear frogs. Actually hear frogs. They're back, singing in the thawed creek. Birds too, calling to each other in the darkening trees. The sound of life returning. Your father is snoring. That steady, healthy snore. Not the wet, sick rattle from February. Your mother is humming something. An old song from England. You haven't heard her hum in months. Martha is already asleep. Samuel too. Everyone's safe. Everyone warm. Everyone alive. You made it. All of you made it. The winter that killed families, that froze people in their sleep, that took James Dawson and others whose names you'll never know. That winter is over. And you're still here. You close your eyes and think about tomorrow, about working in the garden, about teaching Samuel to fish when the creek gets warmer, about helping your father build those shutters, about living instead of just surviving. The breeze coming through the gaps in the wall is gentle, smells like wet earth and new grass, spring smell, life smell. You drift into sleep slowly, peacefully, no anxiety about whether you'll wake up, no worry about whether there'll be food tomorrow, just sleep, deep and dreamless and safe. The kind of sleep you're feeling right now in your comfortable bed with your full stomach and your warm house, and your tomorrow that's guaranteed in ways William's never was. You've spent this time with him, watched him wake up freezing, watched him chop wood with numb fingers, watched him nearly lose his father, watched him build a shelter, watched him survive, and maybe that's put something in perspective. The things you worry about, the things you think are hard, they might be hard, but they're not colonial winter hard. You've got heat with the turn of a dial, food in your refrigerator, medicine when you're sick, light at the flip of a switch. William would think you live like royalty, and he'd be right. So as you drift off to sleep tonight, maybe take a moment to feel grateful for the warmth, for the safety, for the certainty of tomorrow, for all the things William fought so hard to have. You've got them without even trying, and that's worth remembering. That's worth being grateful for. Let that gratitude carry you into sleep, peaceful, warm, safe, just like William finally, after months of fear, finally sleeping easy. Finally home, sleep well,